Welcome all of you. Let's wait for a few more minutes. Welcome all of you. Let's begin our session. Welcome to the world of containers. So, as a part of this course, we will learn Docker and Kubernetes. Okay. So, I hope yesterday you have all attended the session. If not, I assume that you have gone through the recording. Okay. Now, Docker is containerization tool. Containerization tool. Containerization means the process of making containers is called as what? Containers, containerization. Then what is container? We know the process, we know making. Then what is this container? How to make them? Container is nothing but runnable instance of a Docker image. What is Docker image then? Docker image is nothing but application along with its dependencies packed together. What is it? Application along with its dependencies packed together in a file. Then this is called as what? Image. When we run this image, when we execute this image, then that running instance of this image is nothing but what? Container. Image is some static file. If we execute this, then that will become dynamic. Then that is called as what? Container. The process of making these containers is called as what? Containerization. What is the tool we use to containerize the application? Docker is the tool. This is what is the advantage of containerization we have seen. Okay, we can uniformly deploy the same application across multiple environments. Okay, without having any conflicts of the versions and the dependencies. Okay, we have seen that in the yesterday diagram. Now, now we have to understand a few more terms. Docker host. We will install this Docker in some machine. That can be Linux machine, that can be Windows machine, that can be Mac OS. The machine in which Docker is installed is called as what? Docker host. This is my local machine. This is my Windows machine. If I install Docker in this machine, then I can call that machine as Docker host because it is hosting the Docker. As simple as that. If I install Docker in some EC2 instance, then that EC2 instance I can call that as Docker host. Okay. Then Docker host. Then we have another thing, Docker client. Docker client is nothing but Docker CLI. The command line interface that we use to interact with the Docker is called as what? Docker client or the Docker command line interface. Okay, that is fine. And one thing is registry, container registry. The central server where Docker images are stored. Okay, where do we store the source code? We store the source code in some central repositories like GitHub. To store this image, we have servers called container registries. That is the place where we store our containers, not containers, images we will store. You will understand. Okay. So by default, it is Docker Hub. It's a public container registry. We will see that. Okay. Then what are the terms we have to understand? There's Docker host, Docker client, that is fine. Okay. Git bash can also be used as the Docker client. Okay, that is fine. Now let's install Docker. Let's install Docker. How to install Docker? In real time, we use in DevOps, what machines we use? We use Linux machine. Okay. So how do I get the Linux machine? I want to create Linux machine in AWS EC2 instance as a AWS EC2 instance. So for that, I'm logging into my AWS management console in aws.amazon.com. Sign into the console. Those who do not have understanding of the AWS, that is this is for them. So those who already have the knowledge of AWS and creating EC2 instance, you can create the Ubuntu machine. Okay. So this is my AWS email. I have to enter the password. This is the password. This is AWS Management Console. Go to service. I can directly click here, but those who do not understand this, click on services, click on compute, click on EC2. After that, I want to launch a virtual machine. This is EC2 dashboard. Go to instances here or here. Anything is fine. I want to go here itself. Okay. So uncheck this. This is fine. As of now, I don't have any instances in Mumbai region. I am in Mumbai region. Now I want to create a virtual machine. Click on launch instances. If you are comfortable with Azure, then you can create virtual machine in Azure. Okay. I don't want to I want to tag this this is something like Docker host. Okay. Meaningfully I am giving here. It is not mandatory that I have to give the instance name as Docker host. It is up to you. Because I'm going to install Docker in this, I want to name this as Docker host. Then choose the AMI. So I want to choose Ubuntu operating system, and most preferably I love Ubuntu 18, which is a stable Ubuntu version. Where is it? 18.04 and pre-tier eligible. Now, one thing is that T2.micro is sufficient for Docker. Okay. Uh, if you are practicing in real time, you may need to have some higher configuration because you may be running multiple containers, right? So in real time, we will use Kubernetes only. T2.micro is enough in this. Now, key pair. Key pair means what? It's a security credentials kind of things. If you want to create new key pair, so those who are new to AWS, they can create new key pair and you can give that as the Docker host. Docker host I'm giving. Okay. I want to use PEM file. Okay. That is create key pair. This will be downloaded into your downloads folder or whatsoever that you have configured in your browser. After that, I want to keep the default settings for network. For security groups, I want to choose the default one. I don't want to create the new one. I want to keep the default one. For that, I am selecting that here. So 8 GB disk space is enough for me. Then I want to keep everything default and click on launch instance. With this, our EC2 instance should be running. Okay. After 2 or 3 minutes, how to access this Linux machine from my local? Many of you may aware of putty, but there is also another advanced and more handy tool that is MobaXterm. How to download and install MobaXterm? For that, you don't need to do anything. You just have to copy this, paste it here, okay? Just click on this. It will be installing some zip file. In that zip file, if we extract that, you will be having a file executable file. What is the file name? Mobile. See, this is okay. When we extract the zip file, then we will be getting this file. Okay. You don't need to do anything. You just have to double click on that. You can copy this file to anywhere and you can execute that file from anywhere. So with this mobile external client will be open for us. So using this, we can connect it to remote machines. Okay, this is how the window will look like. Now, I want to connect to this EC2 instance, which is now running. Still, status checks are being initialized. Okay, that is fine. Then how to connect to this? Click on this. Okay, click on connect. If you click on connect, see here it will be giving public IP address and the username. Copy this public IP address, go to your mobile external, click on session, click on SSH. In case of remote host, copy the public IP address of your remote machine. In case of username, specify the username. What is the username for here? This is Ubuntu. After that, where we have to provide the that key value with the key that we have downloaded by launching the EC2 instance. So for that, advanced SSH settings, check this use private key, click on this browse option, okay, and browse for that file. What is the file name? This is the dockerhost.pem. If you are using putty, you have to convert this PEM file to PPK, but in this mobile system, you don't need to do that. Directly, you can upload the PEM key here. Open this, click on OK. With this, your Linux machine is now connected to this mobile system host. Okay, just press Control and scroll the mouse. With this, you will be able to increase the font size. I think this is good. This is fine, this font size. Then I want to log in as the root user. Okay, that is fine. See, what is the other advantage of this mobile external is that you can you can browse the file system on this machine. See, whatever the Ubuntu files are there, so that you can browse here. In case of putting, this is not available. Okay, fine. We have
Sir,
connected to the
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Just a doubt here. While creating that session, that port number will be default port number there.
yeah. So this is this SSH will be 22 port, right? This is already provided here. If this is not there, you have to type 22.
22. Okay. And can you just show me that how you selected that instance username, because I am not aware of AWS.
Okay, so here that's why I told you. So this is our instance, right? This is our
Yeah.
instance. If you click on this instance ID, you have the connect option here. If you
Okay.
click on this, public IP direct you can see here, but if you click on this, it will also show the Ubuntu as the username. If it is Amazon Linux, EC2-user is the username. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
So
And in
this
Putty,
is
I mean, mobile external to just go to your root user, you are given a sudo su tilde symbol, right?
sudo
Hmm.
su hyphen. No,
iPhone. Hmm.
okay,
Okay.
anything.
Fine.
So even
Thank you,
if you
sir.
are not, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Now, so generally in Putty, what will happen? Session will expire if you are not configuring that in the host machine. Here, mobile system, go to settings, click on configuration, click on SSH, and check this SSH keep alive. Generally, when we install this, this is unchecked. So if you check this, then your session won't be expired even after some time. Okay, that is. Now let's install Docker in this. How to install Docker? You just have to copy this command. Okay, first log in as the root user, then copy this. What will happen? Whatever the script that is there, that will be given as an output, and that output will be redirected to this file. And after that, we have to execute that shell file. Otherwise, what you can do, you can directly use this and you can pipe that to bash. Okay, as simple as that. If you do this, that script will be executed. In 2 to 3 minutes, Docker will be installed in our machine. So this machine in which we are installing this Docker is called as what? Docker host. That is, wait for some time. Aditya Khanorkar course duration is 45 days. Okay. So I think they have mentioned in the poster like 30 days, but I can't complete that in 30 days. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Clear. Now Docker is installed. How can I be sure about that? Just execute Docker space hyphen version. If you do this, see Docker is installed. Or if you just type Docker, it will also take you to the different commands. That is why Docker is installed now. When we install Docker, by default, Docker CLI will be installed. That's why I'm able to execute Docker commands. We don't need to explicitly install Docker CLI or the Docker client. That is, we understood that. Okay. Now let's come to the discussion of image. We have the hardware. In order to install Ubuntu operating system, what we have to do? We have to download the Ubuntu image. In general, I am saying that is called as what? Ubuntu image, which is nothing but operating system. Same way, in order to run the containers, we should have the image first. What is image? Image is nothing but application plus with its dependencies packed together is called as what? Image. Let's say we have Jenkins. For Jenkins, the dependencies is OpenJDK. Okay, so that Jenkins application along with the OpenJDK packed together is called as what? There are any other dependencies also that will also be there in this package. Then that is called as what? Image. That images will be stored in where? Registry. By default, registry is Docker Hub. Let me go to the Docker Hub. Hub.docker.com is the default container registry. Okay. Now what I want to do is, what I said is, we have to execute the container from the image. Okay. If we execute the image, then that will be coming as a container. That will be created as a container. And that images are stored here. Okay, how to download that image into this machine? First I have to download that image into this Docker host, and I have to execute that image, then only it will become the container. How to download that image? For that we have a command called docker pull. Docker pull. What is the image name? I want to pull Ubuntu image, or I want to pull Nginx image, Nginx application. Nginx image is nothing but Nginx application along with its dependencies put inside a box and stored in some central server called registry. So if I search here Nginx, the different Nginx images are there, and this is the official Nginx image. And one thing you have to remember that these containers are nothing but you can think them as small virtual machines. Okay, so Ubuntu virtual machine also we can create in a container. This is the Ubuntu image. We can run this virtual, we can download this image, and we can run a container from that image. Okay, and you can take Jenkins image means Jenkins application will be put inside a box along with its dependencies. Okay, Tomcat is also having its own image. This is, for example, if you want to have the Node.js kind of things, if you want to have the node environment, okay, then those, so maximum, for example, if you want to have database, the database image also there. This is nothing but some Linux machine in which MySQL is installed. That is the image here. Okay, that is. Now how to download these images which are stored in the Docker Hub? For that we have a command called docker pull. Docker pull nginx. Docker pull nginx. With this, nginx image will be downloaded into our Docker host. And when it is being downloaded, it will be downloaded as layers. We will understand this layers concept going forward. Now, I want to see whether this is downloaded or not. For that, we have a command called docker image ls. I want to list out the images that are there in my Docker host. If I hit enter, see, this is the image repository, this is the name. You will understand that later. So this is the Nginx image. Some image ID will be allocated. It was created or updated. It was created long ago, that I know. But like it was updated about the 8 days ago in Docker Hub, and its size is 142 MB. Okay. Now, these are just images. This is not container. What is the difference between the image and the container? Okay, the file, the application, along with its dependencies, packed together is called as what? Image. That images will be stored in the container registries. In order to run the container from the images, we have to download that image into our Docker host machine. So after downloading, we will be able to list them out using Docker image ls command. Somebody is trying to speak, or by mistake you have unmuted. Sunil, you want to speak something?
No, no, by mistake, sir.
Okay, okay, no, no worries. Docker image ls. Like that, I also want to download Ubuntu image. And downloading Ubuntu image means I can create a Ubuntu container. Okay. Now I will take you back to our this one. See, this is a Ubuntu container we can think of. This is Nginx container. This is some Tomcat container. Okay. So here, if we want to have the Ubuntu environment, you have to install full-fledged operating system in this case. But in case of containers, okay, so how quickly we have downloaded this. Now, if I search for Docker image ls, Ubuntu is downloaded. What is its size? It is 77.8 MB. But if you take full-fledged Ubuntu operating system, there its size was about 3.7 GB that we have seen yesterday. Okay, so this is the images. Now, I want to play with some image related commands. Okay, so image ls, image pull we have done. So someday what you want to do is, okay, we will be learning other commands going forward. So if you want to delete an image, I want to delete this Ubuntu image. Docker RMI Ubuntu. RMI stands for remove image. And which image I want to remove? I want to remove Ubuntu image. Hit enter. That image got deleted. Now if I search for Docker ls, these all things we will be using in real time. Okay, this is only we have one Docker image, that is NGI. Next, okay, so we will see this push tag and commit build later. This is premature to discuss that here. So then you want to search some image. You just want to randomly search whether you have some image that you want. Let's say Docker search. Mm, Docker search. Why it is not? Why it is responding very slowly? Docker search. Let's say a Java. Okay. So these are the images, different images. This is node. What is the description? This is Tomcat image. So different things are there. What, but desired one is not coming. Now I want to search about this one, Ubuntu. So if I search for Ubuntu, see this. Where these are listed from? These are listed from the Docker Hub. Please remember, when we use Docker pull command, Docker pull, let's say sent OS, okay, where it is getting downloaded from? By default, it will be connected to the Docker Hub. That is hub.docker.com. If this image is existing there, then that will be downloaded into our Docker host. Okay. So these are the things, these are the images that we have in our Docker host. But if I search for some image like CentOS, these are the list list of images that will be there in the Docker Hub. If I search for CentOS, different CentOS images with the different tags. So this is the list that we are getting here. Okay, so don't confuse with that. Then we have downloaded the image. How to run a container from that? Okay. Docker image ls. We have the nginx image. How to run a container from that? For that we use Docker run. What run? Generally it will be Docker container run. Okay, but we can give Docker run. By default, it will be treated as Docker container run. Docker run, I want to run a container from which image? From nginx image. What is happening? Container is running. Container is running. How quickly it is running? See, as soon as I press Docker run nginx, within no time, this virtual machine is up. Imagine the situation before this containerization technology was there. In order to install Ubuntu operating system, how much time it will take? You tell me. But using container, within no time, we are able to bring up this small virtual machine, which is having nginx running inside of it. Our nginx application is running. How to access this? We will understand that later. Okay. So now let's duplicate our tab. Okay. So how to check? How to check? I want to log in. List of running container. For that, we have a command called Docker ps. It will give the processes, current running containers. If I hit this, also we have container ls is also there. Okay, so but it is easy to use Docker ps. Docker ps. See, a container is running and the ID was assigned to this. This is from which image the container is running? From this image. And you will understand this later. It is created about a minute ago. Status is up about a minute ago. Ports also will understand that later. Nginx port will be 80 and this is some random name given to that particular container. Okay, and we can customize this name. This is. Now I want to stop this. For that you can apply Control C. So exited. If it is exited, if I execute the same command, what will happen? The container is no more running. I have a command called Docker ps-a. This hyphen A stands for all. It will show all running as well as exited containers. But if I run Docker ps, it will show only running containers. But if we use Docker ps-a, it will show both running as well as stopped or exited containers. Okay. So once this container is stopped, if we feel that there is no work with it, then we can remove this. How to remove that? For that, we have a command called Docker rm. Docker remove. Then what is the container name? This is the container name, or else also you can use the container ID. With the name or with container ID, you can do the operations. Docker rm, this one. That container now got deleted. If I press this, it will show nothing. Okay, because that container got deleted. If container got deleted, will the image will be deleted? No. in the container got deleted, it doesn't mean that images will be deleted. No, image is still there. You can run multiple containers from the same image. Okay, that is. What if I want to remove all the images? For that, we have a command called docker system prone -a. This is the command to remove all the images. Hit enter. It is asking for confirmation. Yes, I'm giving, I'm approving them. If that is the case, if I run docker image ls, I won't be seeing any images because everything got deleted with that command. Okay, that is, so then I can use this terminal. Now, what I want to do is, this we have seen, we will see these things slowly. Okay, or else what we do is, now let's run the
Can I
engine.
have one question?
Sure, why not?
Yes, sir. Sir, what is the use of deleting a Docker if image is existing after removing the Docker?
I'm not understanding. Now you should not say after deleting Docker. I'm
Yeah,
stating very
after removing the
container.
Docker,
Container we have to say.
we are using yeah, container. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
After removing the container, still the image exists, right? So
Yeah, image is a file. Image is a file. You can run multiple containers. Once the container is deleted, it doesn't mean that image will be deleted. No, images will be still there.
so container take any memory
Container will utilize the system memory.
system. So that will be cleared only, right?
Yes, that will be cleared. Yes.
Okay, all right. And my second doubt is that how this instance, see this root is there 172. How this is interconnected to hub Docker?
By default, when we install Docker, okay, so that is how the Docker was designed.
Okay.
So Docker and that website got, for example, when we are updating apt update, what it is updating the package. So that by design that was there. Here also same thing. Okay.
With a Docker installation, it will be interlinked.
Yes, it will
And
be interlinked. That
how
is
the
part of
images will be
Docker.
get uploaded in that Docker hub, sir?
Sure, that is part of the course. We will
First,
learn that.
okay, we will come to know later on. Okay.
Yes, the Docker Hub we will upload, and we will also create private registries in Azure Content Registry, in AWS Elastic Content Registry.
So it is done by individual users only, not by the community, right?
Yeah, in Docker Hub, community will be uploaded, and you can also upload. We can also upload our own images, and we can make them public.
Okay. It's for the public. Fine.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Then what I want to show here is, now let's see Docker image ls. We don't have images now. I want to, even though there is no image, but still I want to run the container. Docker run ngInx. Will it work? Let's observe. Initially, an image should be there in our machine. Then only we can create a container from that. But without having that image in my machine, I'm running the container. Okay. And it is succeeded. Okay. So what is happening? See, when we run the docker pull nginx command, that image will be downloaded into our machine and we can run the container happily. But I did not download the nginx image earlier, but I'm trying to run the container from that. When we use docker run, that means I'm trying to run the container from this image. So what is happening? That image is unable to find the image called nginx locally. Image with this tag, you will understand the tag slowly. Okay, why it is not able to be found locally because we did not use the Docker pull nginx. That's why that image is not there locally. If that is not there locally, what it is doing? It is pulling. It is pulling from the Docker hub. Once it is pulled, that image will be downloaded, and from that image, container is running. Inside the container, that nginx application is running. If I see this here, Docker ps, see container with this name is now running. Got it? That is. Now I don't want to do this. That is fine. So now I want to stop this container. This is happily working here. I'm not uploading. I'm not giving control C. If I press control C, it will be exited. That is fine. But I don't want to do that. I want to use the command Docker stop the container ID or the container name. I'm giving the container. See, with this Docker ps, just use -a so that it will also show exited container. See, if I see this, the container is exited. Once it is exited, can you start this again? Yes. Docker start. What is the container ID? This is. If I do this, container is started. If I see Docker ps, see the container is up 3 seconds ago. When I stopped it, the application was stopped. Okay. Now the container is running. How to see the logs then? Docker logs container ready. See, we are able to see the logs. Okay. If I use -f, we will see the live logs. Press Control C to exit from that. The container is running. This is. Can I
Sir,
stop
what
this?
is mean?
Yes, Docker stop. And
Sir, you have given
what
the
is?
previous command -f, right? What does it stand?
That means it will stream the logs. It will stream the logs
Okay.
as they are coming. Okay, updated logs will also be coming live. Docker ps. So now you know how to stop this and we know how to remove that. Okay, now let's try to remove this directly without stopping. Docker rm. Okay, rm the container ID. What it is saying? Error response from daemon. You cannot remove a container that is running. In order to remove, we have to stop the container first. How to stop that? We know Docker stop and container ID we can give. But I just want to forcibly remove that. Forcibly stop and remove that. For that, what I will do is I will use a flag called -f. With this, what will happen? The container will be stopped, and after stopping, it will be removed. Now, if I apply control ps-a, see, there is no container whether it is running or stopped. This one. Now, Docker ps-a, there is no container, but there are images. Okay, now let's run the container again. Docker run from nginx. And we can name the container Docker run -name. Machine is somewhat slow, not responding properly. So it is saying my internet connection is unstable. Okay, Docker run. If we want to assign a name to this -name, I want to give something like my nginx. Okay, so I want to run a container with this name, and what we have to provide? We have to provide the image. Okay, so with this, if I come and see here, Docker ps command, see, the name of the container now is the name that we have given. Akash is saying my voice is breaking. Is it? Friends, is it for all? And is it okay now?
No, it's breaking, sir.
Now is it fine?
No, it's okay.
It's okay,
It's
sir.
okay. Okay, thank you. So this is how we can name the container. Now, can we restart this container? Yes. Docker restart. And you can give either the name of the container or the container ID. So if I see this, what it will tell, okay, it is up
Sir,
few
what is the
seconds
difference
ago.
between
Why?
start and
Because
restart? We can start the container also again, right?
once the container is stopped, we can start it.
Yes.
Okay. When the container is running, if you want to restart that container, we use the
Okay.
restart.
Okay. Acha, when running. Okay.
Yeah. Then Docker stop my nginx. Docker restart my nginx. Okay, we can use this restart for the running as well as the stopped containers. But we can use the start command only when the container is stopped. Okay, so that is. Now I want to run another container, that is Docker run. I want to name that as a tomcat. Okay, now let's say my tomcat, and definitely we have to provide the image name, Tommy image. Tommy is the official name of the tomcat. Tomcat also we can use, and there are two images for tomcat. One is Tommy and another one is tomcat. Because we did not download the tomcat image already, so what it is saying, it is unable to find that locally. So it will consult, it will download the Tommy image from the Docker hub. Once it is downloaded, it will run the container from that, and that container will be named as my tomcat. Friends, it seems like my internet connection is somewhat slow. I think, it won't take this much of time, just for 46 MB. As you said, that may be the reason for that voice break. No, is using my equipment. Okay, and this is running. So now how many containers we should see here in the Docker ps command? We should see two containers. These are two containers. This was created a minute ago and it is up 8 seconds ago. This is, and these are the tomcat will be running on port 8080. Nginx will be running on 80. These are the container IDs. These are the names of that container. Okay, that is fine. Now let's do one thing. Docker image ls. If you see, this image will also be there. Why? Docker run command will also download the image. Because the image is downloaded, then only the container can be created from that. Now let's do one thing. Container is running here using Tommy image. Now let's try to delete this. Docker RMI is the command to remove an image. If I do this, what it is saying, unable to remove the repository reference Tommy because a container is using this ID, using this image. Okay, that means when a container is running, okay, the image that is associated with that container can't be removed. Okay, so first you have to remove the container, then only you can remove the image. That is fine. What if I apply docker system prone -a? This command is used for what? To remove all the images. It will ask for what? Confirmation. What it is saying, this will remove all stopped containers, all networks not used by at least one container, all images without at least one container associated to them, all build cache. We understand that. So if I do this, what is happening? Now let's see. Docker ps. See, this command will remove the images which are not related, which are not associated with the running containers. Okay, it won't touch that. Other images will be removed. Okay, that is. Now we are having two containers running. If I also want to see the stopped container also along with the start running containers. So if you see, only we have two containers and those are running containers. We don't have any stopped containers. How do I know if the container is stopped? We will be seeing exited state here, but these are up. Now what I want to do is I want to remove all these two containers in single shot. For that, we have a command called docker rm to remove a container. And because they are running, we have to forcibly stop them. We use -f flag. And what I want to do, I don't want to remove a single container, but I want to remove all the container. I want to remove and delete all the container. Sorry, I want to stop and remove all the container. For that, we have this command docker ps aq. So this command will give what? All the container IDs. Okay. And here we are removing all the containers with this. If I do this, see, now if I see ps-a, there is no container because with -f, containers will be stopped. With rm, containers will be deleted. Which containers? All the containers. Now if I execute this command here, okay, now let's see echo. Because there are no containers, it won't give the list. Okay, empty. So there are no container IDs. That is, now we can remove all the names. Docker images, docker system to -a and give y. So those are layers. You may be getting doubt. We have only two images. Why those many lines are coming? They are the image layers. We will understand them later. Okay. Okay, and something we have done that, done this. RM is also there. We can stop all the containers using this. If we want to remove all them, you have to use rm-f. If you want to stop, you can stop, and you are stopping all the containers. And if you want to restart all the containers, you can use the restart. And how to specify all the containers? With this, we will specify. Okay, Q stands for IDs. Then A stands for all. That is, so if you want to remove all the stopped containers, you can use this. If you want to remove all the containers, whether they are running or stop, you have to use -f. -f will stop the containers first, and remove rm will remove all the containers. To see the logs, we use the logs. To see the port we have, and all these things we will discuss. Now, let me show you that. Now, what I want to do is, I want to run the Nginx again. Docker run. I don't want to name it. That's fine. Okay. I want to run this. First image will be pulled. From that, control is started. I am applying Control C. Now, if I apply Control C, that will be in stopped state. I am removing that because this is already stopped. I don't need to use -f. If you use also, no problem. Now, what I want to do is Docker run. See, when I run the container, what is happening? The console logs are there. Console logs are produced, and I'm not able to run the next command. How to avoid these kind of logs? For that, what we have to use? Docker run -d. Okay, -d. -d stands for detached mode. If I do this, what will happen is container will be running in the background. So even I can execute other commands now. If you want to see the logs, you can see the logs. Docker log, the container ID or the container name we can use directly. Because see, then we can see the log. So Docker PS. I said that container is nothing but some virtual machine. If container is virtual machine, can we go inside that virtual machine? Let's see that. For that, we have a command called docker exec it. Docker exec it. It stands for I want to execute commands in interactive mode. It stands for interactive mode. Okay, I want to execute commands in where? In container. Which container? You can give the container name or you can give the container ID. Okay, double click on that, right click on that, and it will be coming here. If I hit enter, see, we have where we are we are in the Docker host. Docker host terminal. Now, if I hit enter, okay, so this is not giving anything. We have to provide the shell here, bash shell. If I hit enter, what is happening? Please observe. The prompt now changed from the host to the container. And this is the container ID. This is the container ID. The host name of the container is container ID. This is our Docker host. We are inside what? We are inside the container called this one. Some Hibernate login is given. So this is the ID. That container is nothing but Nginx container. Now we can do whatever the things that we want to. We are inside the container. We can create a file a.txt. We can create touch b.txt. Okay, ls. See, we have a.txt. Whatever you are doing with your Linux, that also you can do with the container terminal.
Sir, even we can find out what are the images available in this container.
No, how images will be available in this container? We are inside the container. The images will be available in this host machine. Host is different machine. Now the container is different, right? If we install Docker in this container and if we want to do, then that is different story, right? That is, this is how to exit from this. Just press exit. See, our container is done. We exited from our container. That's it for today, friends. Those who are sleeping, you can wake up. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Sarita, you have unmuted. Anything to ask? Okay. Any questions? Is it clear? Am I going fast? Am I going slow? Or is it fine?
Yeah, is it fine? Sir, it's all commands only.
Not all the commands will be built up slowly. Okay. We are interacting with the Docker. Definitely we will interact with the Docker with commands only. Later, we will see many things. And we will also write the Docker files. We have to write that to create the images. We have the Docker compose and everything. These commands only we will be writing in the pipelines.
What about Kubernetes and CKA? What is the difference between Kubernetes and CKA?
Kubernetes and what is the other thing? No, I'm able to hear you. What's the difference between Kubernetes and what other thing you are telling?
CKA, Certified Kubernetes Administration.
Certified Kubernetes Administrator is a certification for Kubernetes.
Okay, the same.
Can you please repeat your question? You are comparing two heterogeneous things. How you can compare Kubernetes and Kubernetes certification? Yeah, can you please ask your question? I might be missing that. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Fine. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is,
What question?
like this session will be based on the EC2 instance for the Docker, or we would be installing on our local machine. Like how would be the
You can
continuation of the course?
No, only I will be using the EC2 instance only. If you want to install Docker in your local machine also, you can install that.
Okay, because I don't know AWS much of them, but I will try to follow this recording and again try to do the steps.
Do you have the AWS account first?
Yes, I had, but by mistake some billing is inserted on that. I will log in with a different Gmail
Okay,
account.
so no worries. You can install this Docker in your this thing in our Windows also. Okay, install Docker for Windows. Install Docker Windows. It will directly take you to the official documentation page. And let me answer Sarita's question. What is CKA? Certified Kubernetes Administrator. It's a certification, Sarita. Okay. And see what we have to do. So system requires system for Linux. So for that, download that here. First, we have to install that Windows subsystem for Linux. Then after that, you have to download this Docker. And if you execute this, you will be able to execute the Docker command. Okay, I'm pinning that in the chart.
So, sir, after completing this course, will be in the position to crack that CK course, correct? CK certification.
Yes, you will be able to crack that. Provided that you have to practice the things.
Yeah, it requires
Kubernetes is a practical exam.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
What is the prerequisite to learn this course?
Okay, I will brief about that. Prerequisite to learn this course is nothing. You don't need to have any knowledge, but good to have Linux basics. Good to have knowledge about the Linux basic. Apart from that, there is nothing you need to know. Even if you don't have the Linux knowledge also, that is well and good. Whatever the simple commands that we have used, you can understand that very easily. And these are all Docker CLI commands only. And in Kubernetes, we will be executing the kubectl commands, and those are not actually Linux commands. Okay, there is no prerequisite for this course. If you want to learn Kubernetes, you need to learn Docker. In order to learn Docker, you don't need to learn anything. Okay, and one more thing, guys, I just want to brief about this course. So those who joined afresh, course is Docker and Kubernetes. Duration is 45 days, and it will be on weekdays from Monday to Saturday. Class timings will be from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Okay, that is GMT plus 5.5 hours. Then what a course fee is 4,000 INR, and what you will be getting live classes plus recordings plus my entire notes will be shared to you through Google Drive. This is the summary, and this demo class I think will be available for only tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, new link will be generated and that will be shared with the paid students. That is, so please complete your payment formalities. I think management will be follow up that.
Okay, sir.
Any project is available on?
Yeah, project we will see, and everything that we will see that we will be doing in the real time. We'll also see the project. We will Dockerize various kinds of application. We will run the Docker compose file. We will write the Kubernetes deployment files. Everything. We will create our own private registries in cloud. Okay, that's it for today, friends. Let's meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Sir, sir, hello. Yeah, last question, sir. For that AWS registration, because I'm new to this AWS. That is a commercial, sir.
Commercial in the sense you should have the debit card or credit card with international transactions enabled. Okay, you should have some email, and after that you should have this one. If you have these both, then very simple. You should have a phone number also. With this you can create. It will take 24 hours for the AWS account to be activated. There are some free tier eligible services. We can use them, and if you use them, you won't be charged for that.
Okay. Okay. So it is not chargeable, sir, right? So
Yeah, it is not chargeable as long as you are using some limited thing. So here, let's say my class is over, and this
Okay,
night
sir.
I don't have any work with this machine. So what I will do, I will terminate this machine. I will terminate this instance.
Okay.
Okay, that won't be bad. So now when we are launching the instance, it will guide us whether it will be chargeable or not. See, it is saying free tier eligible. This instance is free tier eligible. That means for 12 months you can use this instance, and it won't be charged.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
and some
okay.
limited number of hours will be there within that.
Okay, sir. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Sir, a small request. Can you just go a bit slow? It seems to be for me. It's going.
Okay, okay, sure.
It's a request. Yeah, friends.
Yeah, correct.
So this notes will be shared once all gets registered, or it will be shared.
Yes. Once all
better?
get registered, this will be shared through the Google. They will be creating some drive, and I will also ask them to create the Telegram group for us. They will do it for us.
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir,
Thank
that
you.
will be helpful.
Okay, friends. Bye.
Bye.